Hi there. This is Centered Core and Glutes, and I am Mike. And sorry, I literally just this second finished a 3-hour workshop on TRX training, and so I'm trying to shift gears really fast. It finished right at 12, and I clicked leave meeting in Zoom, and I clicked start broadcast in StreamYard, and I didn't really set anything else up. And I really just had moments to scribble notes to record what I was doing. So I'm going to take just a second, and I'm going to do some deep breathing. Actually, you know what? Hang on just a minute. I'm going to just fiddle with the mic for a moment to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay. Let me make sure that that's still all working. All right, sorry about that. Had some technical issues. And so yeah, that being said, I need to take a second and just breathe. Today we're gonna start. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do, and then we'll get started. We're gonna start, and we're gonna work our way from the bottom up. So we're gonna do a little bit of foot and ankle exercises, and just make sure that that's all moving really well. And then we're gonna work our way up to squats and hip hinges, and we're gonna do quite a bit of glutes and hamstrings today, and really just focus on getting all of that really integrated and activated and working. And then we are going to do some yoga as well. We're going to do some child's pose. I'm going to mix in a little bit of traditional Western core training techniques as well. We're going to do some Sphinx or some cobra pose. We're going to do bird dog, and we're going to do some elbow to knee crossovers. We'll probably end up in a little bit of bow pose, or maybe even camel if you guys are feeling feisty, to stretch out everything. Your front body and your back body are going to be really well attended to from your collarbones down. So I hope that sounds fun. I gotta get this thing a little closer so I can make sure that I can see what's going on. Thank you, viewers, for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your patience with the weird technical glitch. Get my notebook handy and my pen. Jen is going to be in here in a few minutes to assist us, and so let's go ahead and take just a minute to start. I want you to sit somewhere safe and relatively quiet and comfortable, hopefully. And I am just sitting on my feet right now, and if that feels okay for you, you can join me in that. If you feel like you need to, you can cross your legs. It's a little harder to sit with an upright posture with your legs crossed, I feel. So be aware of that. You can also sit on a yoga block. That'll help you keep your posture more upright if you are sitting with legs crossed. Or a meditation pad, if you have one, it would be great. Hands, however feels comfortable for you. I just want you to try to relax and not worry too much about the position of your body other than keeping a neutral upright spine. Think about really, really stretching and trying to touch the top of your head to the ceiling. And find a spot that feels like you are long. And I want you to think about making your neck long and making the space between your ribs and your hips long. And I want you to make your mass, your chest, wide. And sit being tall and wide, trying to touch the top of your head to the ceiling, breathing in through your nose, expanding your belly as you breathe in, soaking up all of that oxygen and then sighing all that air out through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose. Relaxing, holding your breath for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and sighing it all out through your mouth. Breath in through your nose. Expanding your belly wide. Sighing it all out further and further, breathing longer and longer exhalation with every breath. In through the nose, expanding the belly, making the space between your ribs and your hips long, making your neck long, your chest wide, your hips sinking wide into the ground. Exhale all the breath out. Breath in through the nose. Expanding the lungs from the bottom, and then you're going to hold it for just 3 seconds and breath out through the mouth. Let's do 3 more breaths. In through the nose. Expanding the belly. Sniffing in that last little bit of air. Hold. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and exhale it all out with a big sigh. Further and further exhalation every time. Breath in through the nose. Expanding the belly. Hold for 3 seconds. Blow it all out through your mouth. 1 more. Big breath in through the nose. Expand your belly. Tall posture, touching the top of your head to the ceiling. Sniffing in the last little bits of air. Hold. Exhale it all out through your mouth. All right. Go ahead and open your eyes. Maybe shake out your hands a little bit. If you need to adjust how you're seated, feel free to do so. I feel like just that little bit of breathing and that little bit of focus on my breath and focus on the pace of my breath is really helpful to take my heart rate down when I'm feeling scattered, or when I come in, from a completely different event, like I did at the beginning of this, and my heart rate's pumping because we were exercising and doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm trying to write notes, and it was a little scattered at the beginning, and now I feel so much more clear and focused, and that is the point in practicing breathing and practicing meditation. It's practicing controlling your nervous system, and it's practicing controlling your breathing, which controls your heart rate, which controls everything else. So that being said, we're going to do a little bit of foot and ankle warm up, and I have to adjust some camera. So to start with, go ahead and sit flat on the ground. Extend one leg and cross the other leg over your knee, at ankle height. Okay, and so go right leg crossed over left, and take your hand and just gently guide your foot in circles. And try to get the full range of motion in there. Really try not to move with your foot at all. You have to let your lower leg surrender and relax to what your hands are manipulating. Okay? And just be mindful of how that feels. If it's uncomfortable, you can reduce the range of motion a little bit. But our goal in doing this is to warm it up really well and to get everything fluid and moving. And by doing this, that's going to reduce this. It's going to reduce the things that make you feel pain. You're going to have better mobility, and you're going to have a little bit more. So you see how I'm just doing these counterclockwise circles with my toe, counterclockwise, just like so. And now I'm going to switch. Okay, clockwise now. And I'm just exploring that full range of motion. I'm pulling my foot into a pointed position. I'm rotating it around into dorsiflexion, pointed toe, dorsiflexion. Nice big circles, because that range of motion feels easy, okay to me. So just continue. Same thing on this foot. And you're just looking around once again for anything in there that's cracking and popping and maybe doesn't feel good. And we're gently acknowledging that it's a little uncomfortable, and we're maybe reducing the range a little bit for a couple more circles, and then we'll maybe revisit it and just see. Does it still hurt? And if it doesn't feel like there's anything mechanical going on, maybe it's just some tension. Maybe a few more circles will help it to relax. Or maybe you're controlling something with your muscles instead of letting your lower leg surrender. Go ahead and do the other side. Extend that leg, cross the other foot over. Hi.
You filming me?
Yes, please. We're doing foot and ankle warm-ups.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Jen has joined us. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Thank you for coming and playing.
Yeah.
So I extended my right leg, and I'm crossing my left leg over and right above my knee. And I'm just going to try to relax my foot and my ankle and my leg as much as possible. And I'm going to really focus on manipulating with my hands and making my leg just kind of chill out, and not using the muscles in my leg or my foot to control what's going on with my hands. And at the moment, I am doing counterclockwise circles. You do whatever works for you, as long as you remember to go in both directions. I got a little bit of popping and crunching in here. Like I said, when you have something like that that's popping and crunching, if it doesn't hurt, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just be mindful of it. If it feels like it's getting worse, decrease your range of motion a little bit. If it hurts, try not to bump into it. Go ahead and switch directions if you haven't already. And really try to get your foot all the way into point and all the way into dorsiflect. Really emphasize the range of motion as much as you can. Make nice big circles. How's that feel? Does that hurt?
No, I mean, it's crunchy, but it feels really good.
Yeah. Mine's crunching and popping a little bit. I got a little bit of tightness in this. This foot has been feeling a little tight up the 2 toes on the outside. Ooh, yeah, you hear that?
Was that good?
That was good, yeah.
Did you do the other foot already?
Yeah, I already did the other foot.
Well, while you're talking, I'm just gonna do it a little bit.
All right, do it. And yeah, so I think the hardest part about this exercise is really relaxing all of the muscles in the leg, because it's just hard for us to give up control. And so even when you're the one who's doing the manipulation, sometimes it's hard to relax things that are moving around, especially if you expect them to hurt, or if they have hurt in the past, you've had some injuries maybe. It's hard to let go and just relax those muscles, because our body wants to create stability so that it reduces pain. And so we tend to grab on. And so you have to learn to let go while you're moving that stuff around. So then foot, we're going to just kind of do a little bit of almost a sort of a repeat of what we were doing. Dorsiflex and then point. Ooh, that causes me to cramp up a little bit. That might be an electrolyte imbalance. Dorsiflex and then point.
Have you been taking your electrolytes?
Dorsiflex, I haven't been real good about that with my water lately.
Oh dear.
And then point. Dorsiflex, but I eat a ton of salt. And point. I could probably take more magnesium. Dorsiflex and point.
I'm opposite to you, sorry.
Dorsiflex and point.
I don't know how that happened. Here, I'll get on.
Dorsiflex. Point. Let's do 2 more. Dorsiflex. Really, really pull the toes, like pull them. There you go. And point.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. You can shake out your leg if you have to. That really makes my feet go cramp up. Yeah, so part of that, if you have cramps below your knees, for me, it's usually potassium, actually. But cramps sometimes are dehydration or an electrolyte imbalance. So if you get cramps a lot, especially, I would check those things out. All right, so same thing on this side. Go ahead and start in dorsiflexion. Dorsiflex, that is this 90-degree square. And then point. Point your toes like a ballerina. Really, really point them hard, and then woo, ooh, little cramp on that side too. Ugh. That'll go away in a second. Go ahead and go back to dorsiflex, and then point. Dorsiflex, and point. Dorsiflex, point. Woo. Dorsiflex, and point. I'm even trying to spread my toes apart when I dorsiflex. Dorsiflex and point.
You have really long toes, babe.
Dorsiflex.
I'm just noticing.
And point. Oh, the marriage is off. Dorsiflex and point. 2 more.
Ooh,
Dorsiflex. Did you pop?
Yeah, an old cramp.
And point. 1 more. Dorsiflex and point. All right, go ahead and shake that out. Good stuff. All right. Next we are going to do donkey kicks, which is one of my favorite glute warm-ups. And so I'm going to have Jen demo so that I can actually finish writing some notes that I didn't get a chance to finish before we started. And so for your donkey kick, you want to get down into quadruped position, just like so, on your forearms. And the reason you're going to do it on your forearms is because it helps this lower back, lumbar spine to stay uninvolved. We really want this flat and in this position, neutral, the whole time. And so Jen is going to go ahead and, oh man, be really careful when you bring up your right leg. Let's test your right leg first and see if you have room to do this without kicking that bar. Are you okay there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, so Jen is going to go ahead and show you how to do these, and it's going to be 15 of these on each side. So gaze down in between the hands, neutral spine all around, bent foot, bent leg, just like so. That's 1 and 2. They look perfect. Nice work. 3, and she's just focusing the squeeze right here on the bony spot where the glute connects into the pelvis. You could probably even feel that on yourself if you reach back there and touch yourself while you're doing this exercise. You'll feel there's a spot there that the crease is starting, and that is where you should concentrate on focusing your squeeze of the muscle. All right, so
15?
Yeah, 15 of those on each side.
All right, other side now.
Yep. Bear with me, I'm almost done scribbling notes. All right. So once again, donkey kicks on both sides, squeezing right here at the top of the glute where the curve starts. That's where you really want to focus your concentration on your squeeze and keeping your core, your spine and your lumbar neutral and nice and tight. How you doing?
Good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, I want hip thrusts. So you're just going to lay flat on the ground. She's going to lay flat face up, feet flat on the floor, and push through the heels, bringing the hips high toward the ceiling. And you see when she's really, really well extended, you see how she's got this line that starts at her knee and goes all the way down to her shoulder, and it's a nice straight line. That's exactly what you're after. Go ahead and squeeze really hard at the top for a second. Hold for 5 seconds at the top and then come back down. Breath in as you come down. And then pushing through the heels, squeezing it out on the way up, and hold for 5 seconds. And then down. And give me 15 of those. Plank. It's going to be so good. Really, really pushing through the heels right here is your focus. Like right back here is your main point of contact with the ground, and that's where all your power should be coming from. And that will help you to engage the glute and the hamstring muscles. And it also helps to keep your knees tracking in a solid, healthy position. If you have a lot of knee problems, it's a lot of times because your knee doesn't track correctly. And so hamstrings are the primary muscles that are responsible for the tracking of that patella. Keeping everything nice and tight with good amounts of tensegrity from the back and the front. Balanced training is super important. How many is that?
This is 11.
11? 12. So good. 13, really squeezing. The point here is contracting the muscle too. Really, really focusing on the squeeze. Because obviously you're not using a lot of weight. And so we want to really focus on the contraction and the power.
Oh man, I really started to feel those towards the end.
Yeah.
Whew.
Nice work. All right. And I want a set of bird dogs. So reaching, extending the leg out far behind you. So for bird dogs, you get into tabletop position just like so. And excuse me here. Jen is going to extend one arm overhead and extend her leg really far out here. And I don't want it real high up. I just want it out long. There you go. Really, really pull and extend your body as long as you can. And then she's just going to switch sides. That's 1, 2. Really, the focus is on just making the body long. 3. There's 4. 5. Is that? Am I right on my count or am I off?
No, you're right.
There's 6. Go slow if you have to. There's 7. And really just focusing on quality of the movement. 8, and making sure that you are keeping your balance. 9. There's 10. We want to rush through this stuff sometimes. Really just focus on getting super long. There's 12. I want 15, 20 of these. 14. 15. Try not to shift your weight a ton. 16. 17. Really long. 18. Keeping the core tight the whole time. 19. And there's number 20. Nice job. And one of the good things about this exercise, that exercise specifically, is it's really safe for your back. Even if you have back problems, that's a really, really good one to help to strengthen your core in a way that will give you less pain overall. It's so fun. Bird dogs. I want standing. So I have to fiddle with the camera yet again. This is my life now.
Just fiddling with cameras.
Fiddling with cameras. Boom, 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 boom. So, if you guys can see what is going on while I adjust this, Jen is going to get into athletic position. Remember what that is, Jen?
Like this?
Yeah. Side. There you go. Side of the camera, and then she's gonna snap her body into plank.
Wait, like down in the plank?
No, standing plank.
Just standing up?
Yep. Just like that. So like a kettlebell swing. So I want you to be really, really mindful about it. You're gonna slowly pull yourself down using your muscles, like lower yourself down into that hinge position, and then you're gonna explode hard forward and get tight everywhere. Make fists. Like really get your whole body tight as you do this. There, yeah, that's getting better. I want you to think about jumping down into the ground. Like I want you to make huge footprints in those mats. Like you're trying to
jump up?
No, I don't want you to come off the ground. I want you to jam your feet down into the ground as you with your power. You know what I'm saying?
Am I not?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Oh, okay.
I want 20 of these. So it's really more of a mindful movement. Like I said, she's lowering herself down using her strength instead of just like falling down into the bottom of the range of motion. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, dagnabbit. This is why we can't have nice things, Jen.
You got it, babe.
What number is that?
This is 13.
Really get your core tight at the top too, like you're about to take a punch. Like you're trying to push the wall away with your belly. Like really, really hard. Not with your belly, but with the energy from your Care Bear stare. Like really, really get it. I knew you would know what I'm talking about. Nice work. Good stuff. I like it.
Makes me feel powerful.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what we're after. I love it. All right. I want another round of the bird dogs, but I want you to cross knee to elbow and touch.
So do you want me to still extend or just?
Yes, I want you to extend and then touch knee to elbow before you switch.
Like that?
Yep, just like that. Extend, knee to elbow, switch. There's 2. Extend, knee to elbow, switch. And really, when you're extending, really focus on getting long. When your knee to elbow, really push your knee into your elbow hard. Like squeeze it for a second. Extend, push. There you go. What number is that?
I'm not counting.
All right, let's call this 5. Extend, really pull it together. 6. Extend really long, pull it together really hard. 7. Extend really long, really jamming that elbow hard into the knee. 8.
How many are we doing? 20?
12. There's 9. I really want you pulling that elbow hard. Like I want you to shake a little because you're pulling so hard. Is that 10?
Yeah.
Pull, pull, pull. There you go. 11. And 12. Nice. Good work. So good. All right. This time I want the hip thrusts again, and I want single leg hip thrusts. So for single leg hip thrusts, she's going to lay flat onto her back. Feet are flat on the ground, approximately shoulder width apart or so. Hands down by the side. And actually, you're really strong. So if this is really, really hard, you can do two-legged. That's totally okay. That's a good way to regress this exercise. But we're going to do one leg at a time. And you see how Jen's hands are palm down right now? Since she's really strong, I'm going to make her flip her palms up so she can't really use her hands as much. And that's going to make this extra hard. And then she's going to put one foot up in the air. And she's just going to try to get this foot really, really high and push off of the right leg. A little higher. There you go. That's 1 and down. Over and over and over again. There's 2. I want 15 of these. Pushing really hard through this heel. 3. See that line from the knee to the shoulder and how it's nice and long when she's at the top? There's 5.
It is harder with my palms up.
Yeah, isn't that weird? 6.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You got to really focus. 7. Less stability. 8. Beautiful work, darling. There's 9. Come on. 10. 11. Give me one more. 12.
Oh,
nice
geez.
job.
My legs are still sore from Sunday.
You're doing so good. These are really hard. All right. Same thing. Other side. Palms up. Makes it a little harder. There's 2. If we needed to make this even harder, we have ways to do so.
Okay, you do.
There's 3 next week. There's 4. Nice and strong. Looking good. 5. I like it. Halfway. Really pushing through the heel is the point on this one. 6. There's 7. She's getting a nice straight line from her knee all the way to her shoulder on this side. There's 8.
Pretty sure that's actually 9.
Is that 9? There's 10.
It's fine.
Oh, I know you're being honest. I can't count and talk. 11. Palms up. There's 12.
Oh,
nice work.
Jeez. It's really a lot harder with the palms up.
Yeah. So good. Okie dokie, artichoke. I want dead bugs. Give me 40 of these. So for dead bugs, you lay flat, arms and legs straight up in the air. She's extending her legs as much as she can. And then she's just going to raise her right arm overhead and extend her left leg out all the way, pointing her toe, and then switch. There's number 2. And if this is way too hard for you, or you feel this a lot in your lower back, then the modification is to keep your knees bent like this. You're so good, Jen. Thank you. And you can move your upper leg, more or less according to how it feels in your lower back, how much you're able to stabilize this normally. What number is that?
8.
8. Nice job. There's 9. And core training is so good for you. It's good for your sense of health and well-being. Is that 13?
11.
11. There's 12. 13. So strong. 14. 15. There's 16. How about we'll do 30.
Okay.
17. 18. 19. Jen's core is really engaged. I can see it. 21. 22. She's so strong. 23. 24. 25. And this is an anti-rotation exercise. It challenges your rotational stability. And it's real good for you.
Oh.
Nice job. Go ahead and roll over flat onto your back and do a little Sphinx or Cobra.
On my stomach, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. On your stomach. And a little Sphinx. This is Sphinx pose here. Elbows are flat on, her forearms are flat on the ground, her palms are flat on the ground, her elbows are out in front of her. She's got a little bit of a bend here. And then Jen's mobile enough that she can go into Cobra if she wanted to. Cobra is arms extended. And that is obviously a little bit more of a flex, or of a stretch, I mean. You are flexing some of your back muscles and you're stretching your abs. You can go back into Sphinx if it felt good, or from here, if you would like to, you can go into Child's Pose. Stretch a little bit of that way. So for Child's Pose, hands flat. If you feel like you're really high up in the air on your backside, you can sink by spreading your knees apart a little bit further and kind of sinking into that space. It's really just what's comfortable for your body. Explore different positions a little bit and see what seems to work. The point is to gently stretch and. How's that feel?
Great.
Yeah. All right.
Got a greasy face.
Yeah.
My little face grease mark.
Your little facey grease mark. I want another round of. Actually, you know what? We haven't done this yet. I want a set of reverse Back and forth lunges.
Back and forth lunges?
Back and forth lunges.
Okay.
So for a back and forth lunge, you take a big step forward, and then you take a big step back without catching your foot in the middle.
Sorry.
It's okay, they're hard.
I know, I'm losing my balance.
There's 2. So forward, you can start forward. I usually do 2 actually, and then back. There's 3. Forward, and then kicking it back. There's 4. Forward, kicking it back. There's 5. We'll do 8 of these. Forward, kicking it back. 6. You really want to bend that rear leg. Big step forward, 90 degrees. Big step back, bend the back leg. Is that 7?
This is 8.
This is 8.
Oh man, I am really depleted today.
Nice work.
Whew.
So same thing, other side. She's going to take a great big step forward, bending that back knee, taking a big step back, bending that back knee, making sure it's coming all the way down to the ground. She's doing great. There's number 2. These are hard. It's hard. It's a challenge to your stabilization. Try not to drag your foot, babe. There you go. What number is this?
I think it's 5.
Whoop. You're also wearing socks. Probably doesn't make it any easier. 6.
This is 6.
This is 6. Nice work. There's 7. These are really good for your glutes and your hips and your core. And your legs. And 8. Nice work. Shake it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it today.
Yeah, you were saying earlier that you were feeling it from working out so much, babe. Lifting like a beast all the time.
Making me work out on my recovery day. You're so mean.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry. All right. Give me one more set of the bird dog with the crossover and then the switch. And actually, you know what? This time I don't want you to switch in between. I want you to do one side over and over and over.
Okay.
And give me 12 of those on each side.
Okay.
So great big stretch and reach, and then touch the elbow to the knee. Really making the body long. And when you touch your elbow to your knee, I still want you to really pull it together. Like I want you to shake a little bit because you're pushing so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like maximum like contraction. Don't elbow yourself in the knee, but put them together and then push them together really hard. Otherwise, you're just hurting yourself. What number is that?
10.
Beautiful. And this is good for thoracic mobility as well. Ooh, crunchy, crunch, crunch.
On my hip.
1. Squeeze it together. There's 2. Long and squeeze. 3. There's 4. She's just really pushing her elbow into her knee and creating some tension there. And then she's stretching it all out in the opposite direction. She's got her back foot dorsiflexed, and she's pushing her heel into that back wall. What number is this?
Oh, it's 12.
Beautiful work. Good stuff. All right. Go ahead and give me a set of pulse squats. And so for the pulse squat, She's going to stand shoulder width apart. She's going to get really deep into the bottom, and then she's going to come up halfway, all the way down, and then all the way up. And when she's going down, she's not just falling down into the end range of her joints. Like, she's actually using her muscles to slowly push herself down into the position, you know, or slowly lower herself down into position with muscular strength. It's not just like using gravity and falling and bouncing into the end range of her joints. And so it's a pulse squat because you're pulsing by coming up halfway and then going all the way back down to the start and then all the way back up. And you want to keep your torso really, really upright as much as possible.
10?
Yep. Shift your weight back in your heels just a little touch more. There you go. That was a better torso position. Nice work. All right. Now we're going to stretch. So go ahead and give me, let's go ahead and get into Sphinx or Cobra again, just for a second. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in whichever position you decide to. Sphinx it is. 3 deep breaths in Sphinx pose. Blowing all the air out, big sigh out of your mouth. And then from there, I want you to, you're welcome to go into Cobra if you'd like. I was actually gonna suggest giving bow pose a shot. So for bow pose, you want to lay flat. You want to bring your legs up behind you and then reach down and try to grab your ankles. Ideally, I don't want you to grab your feet. Try to grab your ankles and then push your legs hard into your hands, and that will pull your upper body up and make everything a tighter, more compact package, like wrapped up like a bow. And once you're in this position, really focusing on kicking into the hands and breathing are the 2 important things, I think. And relax and melt into the mat. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in this position. And then we are going to end with a little bit of, oh wow, we have 10 minutes left. Sweet. We're going to end with a little bit of self-massage. So, how you doing?
Good. I'm tired today.
So go ahead and...
So this is going to be nice.
A little bit of a stretch first. So lay or sit flat on the floor with your butt out and your feet out at angles that just feel comfortable. You don't have to really try to get into a split or anything for this right now. Dorsiflexed feet are what we're after. And then I just want you to take a couple of deep breaths and slowly just kind of crawl forward a little bit. So just nice deep breaths and kind of coming forward a little bit. And just crawling your hands forward as your body relaxes. And your body will relax more as you're breathing out, typically. So maybe with every breath out, you can try to take another few little inches. And just kind of feeling around to see what's going on in your back body. Maybe you've got some interesting sensations on the back of one of your knees, or maybe on the back of one of your hamstrings. Maybe one is tighter than the other. Just kind of feeling around and moving, maybe a little intuitively. You can internally and externally rotate both of your feet and ankles. Remember to keep breathing as you're playing. Maybe you can come down a little further with every breath still. Or not. You don't have to. That's okay. Internal and external rotation, though, this is definitely something to practice. If you don't feel like you have a lot of this internal and external, work on that. That's super important. Hip pain, back pain, that sort of stuff, a lot of that is related to piss poor internal external rotation of the thighs. That's a free fitness tip that will be worth a lot.
Piss poor rotation.
Piss poor rotation will give you pain. So if you can get down all the way to the feet, go ahead and just kind of grab and take 3 deep breaths. I got sidetracked. Thank you. Just relaxing into that stretch. And then kind of wiggle back and forth in your seat maybe a little bit. Shake your butt. How's that feel?
Oh, really nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, my hamstrings have been really sore this week.
Yeah. So, go ahead and take both of your hands, one on either side of your thigh. And you can interlace your fingers if you want to. And then just really push together.
What if your thigh's too thick and your hands are too small?
Oh, well, do your best.
Small hand, thick thigh club over here.
Do it. Really just pushing the heels of your hands together. All the way down to the knee. And back up. Using your muscular strength to jam the palms together, just kind of giving that a little push and shove. And then you're going to kind of do the opposite thing. You're going to take your thumbs. You can feel the muscle line right here about midway on your leg, most likely. So fingers like this, and then just put it right there at that muscle line. And then make your thumbs meet at the top, right above your kneecap. And you push down and pretend like you're trying to break open a piece of bread or something. And just pull your thumbs apart and then slide up a little bit, reset, pull your thumbs apart. And I dig my fingers into the sides at the same time. I'm like trying to really, like I'm opening a book to my favorite page. Like I can't think of a good, like you're breaking apart a piece of fruit.
We get it, babe. You're good.
Okay. Same thing, other side. Let's start with the pressing together. There you go. So interlace your fingers like so. Put them right here at the top of the thigh. Just work your way down to the knee. Like pushing the palms together and giving it a little squeeze. Right to above the knee point. And then work your way back up too. Did we work our way back up on the other side? I don't remember.
Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay, good.
Whew.
So the more you do this sort of stuff when you're done exercising too, probably the better for your long-term health, longevity, and pain avoidance. So same thing, fingers like so on either side of your leg, right about the middle part of your leg where the anterior and posterior muscles kind of meet. And then thumbs together at the top, and you're just kind of splitting those muscles apart. Really digging it in there and pulling apart. digging it in there. Just my thumbs meter at the top here and pulling it apart. Really digging in with my thumbs and my fingers and rotating my hands externally. How's that?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty chill now.
It's pretty good stuff. Yeah. That's actually what I was going to recommend next. So follow it up with a little bit of this. You can kind of give yourself a little bit on both legs.
Oh, yeah.
If that gets really, really too intense for you to continue doing it, just switch. You got another whole leg that's untouched. You can kind of spread that a little bit back and forth between the two legs. All right. You feel pretty chill?
All right, I do.
Good, me too. All right, I think that is going to do it for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was Centered Core and Glutes. And every Wednesday at noon, except next week, I will not be here because Jen and I are going to go get lost in the middle of the woods. And it's going to be amazing and fantastic. And so we're not going to be able to do any broadcasts next week. But tomorrow, tune in at noon Pacific Standard Time for Kettlebells for Yogis. And Sunday at noon, tune in for Gentle Movement, Stretch and Breathe. And then, yeah, I'll be off for a week after that. If you want to show me some support, you can Venmo me at Ritual Fitcraft. You can support me on Patreon at Ritual Fitcraft. In the meantime, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ritual Fitcraft. And yeah, share it with your friends and all sorts of stuff like that. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, Jen, for helping out today. You're a badass.
Thank you. That was nice.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Hey, Brandy. I'm glad to hear it felt good. Have a great day.